Yo, what's up, y'all? You're now tuned in to another episode of the podcast with Tigmatic, and it's your boy. Hey, listen, I want to say thank you to everybody that's been supporting and everybody that's been showing love on, last night's episode and the other episodes as well with Vice Presidential candidate Melina Abdullah. Next week, I will have her presidential running mate, Cornell West. Folks, listen, it's been a lot going on this week. I've been running around like a chicken with his head cut off. So, if I'm a little flustered, excuse me, folks. But shout out to Puerto Rico, UK. Y'all show y'all love and support. Africa, I love y'all. Y'all been showing y'all love and support. Thank you so much. So, without further ado, I want to get into it. I have a fine gentleman right here. This is family. This is a well-distinguished person, as what they say, a classic man. You know what I'm saying? I have Aandre Fludd. How you feeling, man? Welcome to the pot.
What's up, man? How you doing? I'm feeling
Hey,
great.
man, I'm good, man. I'm happy to have you here, man. You're on.
That's good, man. I know, finally, man. Been trying to get you for a while, but I'm glad to be on.
Yeah, man. So, like I do with everybody else, give yourself the rundown and formal introduction like only you can, man.
Man, well, my name is Aandre Fludd, born and raised San Antonio, Texas. Right now, I'm currently 27 years old.
Hey,
I'm a junior at Morehouse College,
hey.
studying business administration, concentrating in management. I also work in the field of production and operations manufacturing.
Hey,
I worked as an operations manager for 5 years for FedEx Ground. Currently, right now, I'm working in data analytics for Tesla in Austin, Texas.
hey.
Now, so I also do various other things outside of work and outside of school, nonprofit organizations. I'm a board member of the Dr. Thurman Walker Foundation, who was a major pillar in the African American community on the east side of San Antonio. So to be a part of his foundation, he unfortunately passed away from cancer in 2009. His widow started this foundation in memorial of him, and there are people who have been chosen and assigned to be a part of the board of this foundation. And I'm grateful that they chose me to help carry his legacy in the community. I'm also part of 100 Black Men, which is a world-renowned national organization of Black men who seek to mentor and uplift the young men in their community. So right now, man, I'm just trying to work, study, gain my knowledge in life so I can become a better man daily. But yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for having me again.
Hey, man, that's awesome that you're here. You know what I'm saying? So let's talk about it a bit. Tell people about how you got into doing this community work and nonprofit work that you do. Tell the people a bit about it.
Oh, for sure, man. It started out as a young teenager. I did it not voluntarily. My parents put me and my siblings in some of these different organizations, such as NAACP, Top Teens of America. We did some things to stay out of trouble. Um, I have friends, I was an athlete in school, so I had friends who did various different things outside of sports that wasn't conducive to building the character of the man I am today. So my parents saw that early and wanted to put me around other kids who was seeking knowledge and leading the community and was also excelling in their academic schoolwork as well. So that started out young, 15 years old. And I didn't understand the importance of giving back to the community until I realized the older I got how much the community leans on the people and the
That's
and
right.
inside of the community to continue to maintain, and things that need to change, we are there to vote and to adapt to the change and construct the change as well. And then it just led. Once I got into college, I saw how impacting the community, even as an adult, is important for the younger generation. There are young kids who are in the community who, some are doing things academically, some are doing things athletically, and they need some type of guidance. Maybe outside of their household, maybe they don't have both parents. Maybe both parents are not present mentally because of work or whatever. So it's good to have adults in the community that can pour into the kids. So once I realized that as an adult, I
Yeah.
chose to step back into that role. I left the nonprofit organizations for about 5 or 6 years to focus on my academics and my work. But now that I have the opportunity and the resources to go and give back, I made the conscious decision to go and reinitiate myself into these organizations. And yeah, it definitely, man, has been a blessing to me to see how my time that I've invested has blessed other people in the community, man. So that's a little bit about the nonprofit organizations.
Oh man, that's pretty dope. So what is like some of the things you had the youth doing? Like break it down a bit.
Right now,
Yeah.
yeah, man. So right now, let's say for one of the organizations that I'm working in, Dr. Thurman Walker Foundation, we are currently constructing a documentary for Black history here in San Antonio, between about 1950 to closer to today's era. And we're partnered with Bibliotech, which is a tech company out here in San Antonio who is going to help us with the production and the output of this documentary, hopefully to shed light to the younger community of some of the old history that we have of how some of our African American pillars migrated into our communities here in San Antonio, and how they have impacted their community through their time. Maybe that could generate some ideas for the young people nowadays to get back involved into starting up different programs to help continue building that younger generation. Along with the 100 Black Men, right now, we just started back the school year, and our biggest thing is mentoring young men. And one of our biggest things that we do is we partner with different high schools to have after school programs once a week or once a month to go there and instill principles into the young men
Right.
to upbuild them spiritually, mentally, help them study in their coursework, and help them gain more character as a man. So we do such things, teach them financial literacy, teach them Black history, world history. We teach them how to dress when it comes to proper professional attire. We teach them how to be, hygienic, making sure that they're well groomed, as a man. And we just instill spiritual principles as well. You
No,
know,
that's dope.
yeah, the main thing that governs, the mind of a man is his spirit. And without that governing, it's hard for young men to really navigate through this world. So we kind of help them do that. So we're getting started back this school year. They just started back a couple weeks ago, and I'm looking forward to getting back into the schools and being more hands-on with these young men this year. I feel like this generation is going to change the world, man. So we got to really be hands-on into in this new evolution.
Oh man, that's pretty dope because I agree with you there. Doing something for the young men is definitely important, especially for those that are fatherless. They have some role models to look up to.
Mm,
And having a role model to look up to is very pivotal in building and shaping a young man.
yeah,
Without, those types of role models or people around, they can be out here doing anything.
yeah,
And for you to step up to the plate and be a role model for these youngins in so many ways is definitely dope. So I want to commend you on that. So let's talk about the motivational speaking. How did you become a motivational speaker, and how did that begin? Like, what age were you? And tell us a bit about some places you've done some speeches.
Oh man. Well, I never let me know. I've never thought about and intentionally thought that I wanted to be a motivational speaker. I was fascinated by speakers, but that's all I was fascinated. I love to listen. You know, I used to listen to Martin Luther King speeches. I'm talking about 6, 7 years old. You know, I used to love listening to speakers, Malcolm X, and how they were able to portray their words and their oratorical presence. You know,
Yeah.
and it fascinated me. Never in my mind though did I think that it was going to be me. It wasn't until maybe about 14 years old, right? It puberty hit. When puberty hit, my voice, you know, deepened a little bit, and I over time I became more comfortable with speaking, and I realized
Chilly here. Excuse me.
that it's chilly here, huh? I hear you, man. Um, I realized that I have a uniqueness in my voice. So how can I use it um, without any type of self gratification? You know, so I used to do speeches, you know, at church and, you know, in these nonprofit organizations that I was a part of when I turned 15. And the feedback that I would get from people was, you know, pretty amazing. You know, hey, Aandre, you did really well. You know, you spoke very articulate, and your presence was very great. Presentation was great. So these are things that I never practiced. These are just things that naturally happen. And for
Right.
people to compliment me on how I was presenting myself when I would speak, and the way that they would hear me speak the words, and then the sound of my voice and the tones that I used to use, I still use, you know, the fluctuations in the tones of my voice. People were fascinated by that. And I learned that just through listening to other people, you know. So that started out at 15 years old.
No, that's such a young age, man.
Hmm.
So that means you definitely were bred for this, and you were prepared to take up the mantle. It's kind of like your daddy. You know what I mean? Your daddy is not afraid to speak, you know?
Oh nah. Oh nah.
You know,
He's
and
not, man.
that's one thing I love about your daddy, you know what I'm saying? I love about you too, because from the moment we met, you know, this is family, folks, for those that don't know. Like I said, when I said this is family, this is literally family.
Yeah.
You know, uh, so from the first time we met, you know, we were just talking right away, just going, you know, going in on the conversation, and you know, things were great, you know. Um, so ministry,
Yes.
let's break that down.
Man, that started in the same time, right? Started in the same time. I was 15 years old when I went to my pastor, told him that I wanted to become a preacher of the gospel. And at that time, I didn't truly understand the gravity of it. I just knew that I loved to talk about God. And that's, to this day, is what has continued to motivate me, is that I have such a love to talk about God because of what I've experienced and what I've continued to learn on a daily basis. I think God is so infinite and fascinating that you have to share it. You have to.
Absolutely.
So that started out at 15, man. And from that point until now, I'm going on 10 years.
Wow. 10
Ac-
years?
Actually, it's probably it's 10 years now. 10 years now. Uh, Probably going on 11. Going on 11 years. You know what I mean? And I've been doing that since I was 15. I'm 27 right now, so you know, a little over 11 years, right around that time, it was kind of mixed up a little bit, but about 11 years, man. And I've spoken for banquets for nonprofit organizations, different ceremonies. It doesn't matter what type of ceremony, award ceremonies. I've spoken at schools, pep rallies to be motivation to the kids. I've spoken to athletes, um, basketball players, teams to motivate them before the game. I've
That's
gone
awesome.
gone to schools and prayed for the student body, of any student that desired prayer. When I was in high school, we used to do this thing where we used to meet up at about 7:30 in the morning at a designated spot on campus, and we used to pray together. It was about 50 students. So as I got older, I started doing that as I was going back into the community. And I've spoken at many different churches. I've been a part of a lot of different experiences, man, where I've been comfortable standing in front of people, not being intimidated um, of people's faces, not being afraid of people's criticism, because I gained confidence in my words. I gained confidence in my knowledge, in my studying, and I
Yeah,
gained confidence in how I presented myself. All the principles that I've been taught as a man, all the principles that I'm teaching these young men, I had to learn how to master it myself. So
right.
I'm extremely comfortable doing this. That's why I know it's my passion. So I've been fortunate, man, to speak, but it's only the beginning. It's only the beginning, man.
Yeah,
I've been,
so you're young, so you had many more years to come.
man, I haven't
Uh,
even cracked the surface of where I'm going to speak, who I'm going to impact, and how many people I will impact. That hasn't even
that's
begun,
true.
because I'm still on the upward journey of learning. I'm an amateur, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But as time goes on, as the years goes on, God's going to open up doors I never even imagined. And
Amen.
I
Amen.
know we're going to come back 3, 4, 5 years and see the fruits that have manifested from our faith and my obedience, and the trust that we have in God, man. It's going to be amazing.
Absolutely. Trusting in God is definitely key. That's something I'm a firm believer in. And no matter what, I literally said that in the family group. You seen it. You see what I posted in the family group. Trusting God is definitely key. And believing that He will do what He said He will do for you.
Absolutely.
And not just you, all of us. You know
Absolutely.
what I'm saying? So I agree with you there 100%, man. So tell me a bit about To Make a Man. Like let's talk about it a bit. This
Hmm.
is something that I'm definitely a part of, folks, for those that don't know.
Hmm.
So let's talk about it a bit.
All right, man. Well, it's refined a little bit a couple times, but the idea started maybe about 2 years ago when I began to mentor young men that was in my church, and I thought about what can I teach them? They are willing to listen to me, but what am I going to say to them? I didn't want to
Right.
say any cliches. I didn't want to give them any vague, words of encouragement that, they may not remember, that they don't know how to apply. So I just began to discipline them mentally. I would put them through different exercises, physical exercises that would challenge them mentally. They knew they were not being punished, which was the main thing. They're not doing this out of punishment. They were doing this to gain discipline within themselves. And I realized that I'm watching men in front of me who may not have a father figure or a male figure in their life. I'm watching them openly and willingly receive the teachings that somebody like me, who barely has experience as a man, than some, they're willing to listen to me just by the way I present myself and by the way that I carry myself and what I've obtained. So I did a lot of studying about a man, reading different books. As a Man Thinketh by James Allen, Message to the Black Man by Elijah Muhammad. You know, I did a lot of research and studying about what makes a man. And this thought came to my mind: to make a man, to make a man. Only God can make a man.
That's right.
You know, so when I thought about only God can make a man, God gave me the thought of what you are instilling in these young men are principles to make a man.
Right.
So I started that foundation of a mentoring program to build young men into becoming men, leaders in the community, spiritual men, reliable men, trustworthy men. So I started it out.
Oh, I don't know what happened, folks. He kind of went out. He'll probably come
Oh
back in
man,
there,
are
dude.
we back?
There you go. Yeah. Yeah,
Can
you're
you hear
back.
me?
Yeah, we can hear you just fine. La says, talking about God is your lifestyle, Mr. Flood. That's dope.
Rashad, I can't hear you no more, brother.
You can't hear me? I can hear you. Come out and come back in.
Okay,
Oh, I can hear you now.
let's see. Let's see.
Come. Yep. I'm sorry about that, folks. He can't hear. I don't know what happened. He probably got a phone call. And, you know, that happens sometimes when you hit the end button on the phone, when people are calling in the middle of an interview. Sometimes that happens. So he's going to have to come out and come back in. And when he comes back in, we'll finish the interview. I think it's pretty awesome what Aandre is doing. This is cousin. This is family talk right now. But for the world, we want to shed light on influential people out here. And this is what we need for the community in order for things to get better in the community. We need, people that want to be a driving force with God taking the wheel with everything. So, with that being said, my guest is back, folks.
I'm
There you
sorry.
go.
I don't know what is going on, man. Oh man, but I appreciate you get me back in here. Thank you,
Yeah, you're here. So we good.
man. But yeah, man. Definitely. I started out wanting to do a nonprofit organization. But what I realized is I did not.
Yeah, it looks like people are blowing this phone up because they see him doing an interview on Facebook right now. Facebook, YouTube. This is how it is, folks. It's kind of like this for me too sometimes.
I'm here,
They,
brother.
okay, there he is. There he is. Rotate back so they can see you better.
One more time.
There we go. I don't know what's going on, folks. It gets like that a lot sometimes. But that's okay. Like I said, sometimes we go through these little glitches like that when people's phone are going off. And it kind of throws you off balance a little bit. But he's back and we can continue on the conversation. Such a dope conversation. And here we go.
Man, sorry, man. These Amber Alerts coming through is crazy.
Yeah. See, I knew it was the phone. I knew what it was because that happens a lot of times. A lot of the time when I do these interviews, people call my phone when they see certain guests, and I'm like, "Come on, man! You literally see I'm on here trying to conduct business."
Like they're gonna
Literally.
like you gonna answer live and talk to them.
Right. Like, who does that? You know what I mean?
Man, but
But
you talked about how spreading to make a man across the nation.
right,
I wanted it initially to be a nonprofit, but then I realized that I didn't have to solidify it in that way to begin any type of programming.
absolutely,
To make a man is the foundation of principles of becoming a spiritual man and a
absolutely.
man with organized steps that are led by God. You know,
Absolutely. And
ideas
the
and
walk with God is definitely important. You know what I'm saying? Your walk with God is important because if you don't have a walk with God, you can't teach young men. You can't. You just simply can't teach young men. And like you and I talk, and I've told you, before, we talk in the family group and everything, all of us as one big family, you know, I'm on a journey myself, and
Mm,
I was once a different type of man, so I'm on a different journey. And I want to live as a testimony to the youngins, get out the street, do something different out here. You
you
know,
got a testimony.
I wasn't
You got a
super
testimony.
deep in the street, but I was in the street enough to know because I was doing some things, and I'm not proud of those things, but I was doing some things. Um, so what better testimony to have to tell them what life was like for me then and what happened to me and the reason why I'm different now is because of it.
That's the only
Um,
that's the only reason why God put you through those situations.
absolutely,
He knew at this point in your life you were going to be used to speak to the community. But you can't
absolutely,
talk about what you don't go through. You have to take a portion of your life to have certain experiences so that you can live and talk about it so that people can believe you, man. When I heard your
yeah,
testimony of the things you've been through, bro, I mean, it convicted me. You know what I mean? To know that someone can still be alive
absolutely, absolutely.
after the
You
things
know,
you've gone through, to be alive and talk.
talk, walk, joke. We was having fun, taking pictures of
Mm,
everything. I had such a great time with y'all. We got to do that again.
yes,
We
man.
definitely got to do that again.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, man, I thank you for that. But to do these things for the community, let me ask you this: what was growing up in San Antonio like for you? Because we're at the half an hour mark already, damn near. Anyway, but we're not going. I'm not going to ask the specific question yet. But let's talk about growing up. What was growing up in the house like? Explain that to the folks so they can understand why you are the way you are.
Well, man, I mean, I grew up in a structured lifestyle. You know, my dad is from North Philadelphia,
Facts.
came from the streets. My mom is from a small country town in Texas. So I had two different worlds, two different perspectives of life who were raising me, but one thing that my parents agreed upon, one thing that they instilled was that no matter where both of them came from, their kids were going to be better than what they were. Their kids were going
Absolutely.
to have better experiences, and their kids were going to have a relationship with God. My dad didn't have a relationship with God until he was my age right now, 26. You know what I mean? I've had a relationship with God my entire life. So,
Right. That's a blessing. That's a
he
blessing.
they were real intentional about that. Now, of course, with a lot of kids with strict parents, we were limited in some of the things that we could do, which made me make decisions for myself. You know what
A
I mean?
little rebellious, just a tad
A,
bit.
a tad bit, a little bit, a lot of it. You know what I mean? I
A
did I did it
little bit, a
all.
lot of it. I like that.
I did it all, you know what I mean? But uh I learned from all of my mistakes. My family never judged me. My parents never judged me. They may have been disappointed, but they never judged me.
Right.
So being able to go through the experiences that I've gone through and still be loved by my family the way they have, that allowed me to be comfortable into loving other people who also have made mistakes. I used to judge people who made mistakes, but when I realized how much I was forgiven and how much I was accepted from the mistakes that I made that could have embarrassed people, I'm
Right.
like, oh, the only thing that I can do now is when I see somebody that is different than me, see somebody that makes a different decision than me, may make a mistake, who may not know certain things, why am I going to judge them when I can help them? And that's
Right.
all my biggest thing is, let me help you turn into a change into a different person, turn into a different path. Let's go around the corner. Whatever we got to do to change your perception so that your decision making can be different in the next experience that you have, So the house was strict, but the house molded me. I wouldn't be as passionate, I wouldn't be as consistent, and I wouldn't be as disciplined as I am when it comes to the things that I know my purpose relies on me to have, if it wasn't for the structure in my house, bro. I gotta put that out. You know what I mean? That's why it's
For sure.
important for parents to make sure that they don't get too relaxed when it comes to the structure and the requirements and responsibilities that they lay out for their kids. You know what I
Right.
mean? With the technology that's out here, man, it's
You gotta
easy,
be on them.
bro. It's easy
You
to let
gotta
the
be
kids
on them
to
because they can move in ways that we never could move. I'm older than you, so when I was coming up, man, look, if we had all the things that y'all have now,
yeah.
listen,
I'm telling you,
man,
man,
I would have been getting into all types of troubles back then, and I'm gonna say it like an old head, troubles.
troubles. And
You gonna
it's
get
so
me
much.
in troubles.
It's so much to get into, you know what I mean? But you
Yeah,
gotta be real. You gotta be real intentional about what do you want your kids to absorb in their mind, and that's what
absolutely.
my family was, And now I'm in a place where I'm openly, willingly, and investing my time into giving back and teaching and sharing the knowledge that I have.
Oh man, that's dope, man. That's pretty awesome. So let's talk about your job at Tesla. Tell the people a bit about that. Like
Oh,
what is it that you do, man? Break it down.
oh,
And what is working at Tesla like? You know?
man, so I do data analytics at Tesla. I specifically am, and I'm in the inventory department. So we analyze the data for all the inventory for all of the parts that we use for the Model Y and the Cybertruck that we make there. So we manufacture the Model Y and the Cybertruck out of the location that I'm at. I'm at the Gigafactory in Austin, which is the biggest location Tesla has. Uh,
Mm,
so we manufacture out of there, and my job is just to analyze the inventory that we have so that we can make sure that we plan and order the right amount of inventory on a daily or weekly basis. Make sure that we have the perfect amount of in-house inventory so that we can continue production, which is 5 out of 7 days of the week. So we make sure that we do that on a daily. So my job is specific when it comes to the inventory. Now, my everyday job of how we have to analyze the inventory, that changes every day because Tesla is a big company. It's a growing company. They're constantly building and adding onto the building, adding different things because we're going to be building more cars there. So our processes change often, but the basis of my job is to analyze inventory there. Now, working for Tesla, man, it's a dream come true, man. Because I remember when I wasn't working there, I was imagining working there. I would look it up online. I would see videos. I would drive past it when I was going through Austin and I would see it, and I'm like, man, this would be a great opportunity to work. I'm sure their benefits was great. Sure, the pay is great. I'm sure they can use different employees, and I was already 5 years in production operations and manufacturing. Once I applied, and once I got that offer to go, I didn't hesitate. And
that's dope. That's definitely dope, man.
mhm. Yeah,
That's
man.
dope. So is it robots floating around all in the factory?
Yeah. There's a lot of robots. Oh, bro, there's
Does it
robots,
creep you out a little bit?
huh?
Does it creep you out at all?
Oh nah, bro. Because at first, like my first couple months, I would see something new every day that I've never seen. You know what I mean? But now it's like second nature. I see things that the average person don't see. And I gotta be real careful because we got NDAs.
Yeah, you got NDAs just like we do over here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
But
just got hit for one
yeah,
today.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You know how it is. But we see things. I see things that the average person doesn't see, and every day I'm grateful because I feel as though I'm a part of history, which I am. You know,
Yeah,
this guy, man. Elon Musk has a mind that is beyond comprehension. I don't
Right.
know where he's taking this company, but I do
Yeah.
know it's going somewhere. So me being able to be a part of his team, to be able to benefit from being a part of his company, bro, man, it's life changing, man. I'm a part of history, and I'm grateful.
Oh man, that's awesome because he's definitely one of the greatest minds of this time. Uh, it's like he kind of picked up the mantle from where Bill Gates was and just took it
Man,
somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah.
I think it's pretty amazing at some of the things that he does. His personality is a little, it's a little crazy, but it's a little crazy.
Watch it,
But
watch it.
all in all, he's done some great things for technology and invented some things that people go crazy for, like the Cybertruck. Everyone's talking about the Cybertruck. Uh, for me, I was kind of freaked out when I first saw it because I literally posted. I said Skynet is upon us, and it was two robots. First, it was some robots boxing. And then it switched the clip, and it was the Tesla bot driving the Cybertruck, and the other Tesla bot had an AK, and he was shooting at the Cybertruck, and he was like, "I'm alive," and I was like, "Wow, this is crazy."
It's gonna get like that, man. These
Yeah,
cyber
so it was,
crazy.
it was like they were testing the Cybertruck, so that was pretty cool. I thought that was pretty cool. That the invention of these things are here and it's upon us. So with robotics going on right now, do you think that the world is really ready for that yet?
Oh, whether we're ready or not, like you said, they're here.
It's here.
But there's a portion of the world who has prepared for it. That's why it's been integrated so smoothly into our society, man. People, elites such as Elon and other billionaires who have the money and have the resources to push these different projects to advance technology. Not only the Cybertruck, he has SpaceX in
Yeah,
Houston,
SpaceX. Yeah.
and in the rockets. He also has Neuralink, where he put in that chip. You know,
Yeah. Yeah. I saw that as well. And for people who can't be mobile with their limbs, that could possibly help them do that.
so
And
you telling
I
me
thought that was pretty amazing.
they got technology. He is creating technology to restore blindness. What I mean, paraplegics and people who are paralyzed and stuff. He's building technology to change lives. That's what I feel as though inventions should be for. Let's change lives. I don't want to be entertained by speed and adrenaline and nah, man. Let's create things that are going to impact people.
Yeah.
Realistically.
Evolution.
Yeah,
Evolution.
evolution. That's what
Yeah.
it is.
It's all about evolution, man. So that's pretty dope. So let's talk about the next segment of the show. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
I know it might not be a lot, because you've had a very positive
Hmm.
life. But what are some struggles that you've went through, whether it be, positive or negative, whatever way it is? What are some struggles you've been through and how did you overcome them? Let's talk about it a bit.
Man, I wanna bring up three instances, okay? Three instances. The first instance, I was 15 years old. I went through a traumatic brain injury where I was on varsity basketball and collided with another teammate head on, which initially was pronounced as a severe head concussion. But that head concussion um, gave me symptoms of a stroke. I was
Mm,
immobile for about a couple months. I was able to move, but my mobility was shortened. My comprehension and my state of mind, it was hard to process words and sentences. Writing was very difficult, so I had to have therapists and different homeschool teachers come in. There was a program that they put in place for me at school to help me be able to be homeschooled and still finish my curriculum. That right there was the catalyst to my spiritual journey, you know, because I realized that now my physical body is enabled, you know. So
Yeah.
that was one situation. Last year, May of 2023, I got into a very bad car accident where my car, you know, flipped over on the highway. Um, Miraculously, though, I was able to walk out without a scratch. I
Oh
was
man,
my, I was on
that's the
my
grace
way.
of God right there.
That's God right there, man.
That's the grace of God right there, my man.
Bro,
Like,
I was on
and I
my.
remember getting a call, hearing about that, and it was like, man,
It was bad, bro. You know, I was on my way.
yeah.
It was a Sunday morning on my way to church. My tire blew out, and my car flipped. You know, and I lost control. And the way things could have been, you know, I'm in oncoming traffic and everything. The way things could have been, you know, God didn't see it for it to be that way. So seeing, you know, me miraculously coming out of that experience, and then thirdly, the biggest challenge has been, and this is a spiritual thing, but the biggest challenge in my life has been how to overcome my ego.
Mm.
That's the biggest thing I've ever had to deal with, brother. I just
I
named.
would, I would say I know what that's like as well because God is working on me with that as well.
Hmm.
So I can understand. But go ahead, continue.
Yeah, I gave you two other instances where I went through something physically that changed my perspective of life. But understanding the difference between my ego and my spiritual man, I was able to now differentiate who was controlling my experiences. And once I realized that 90% of my experiences was controlled by my ego, I had to kill him. Most people never understand when they say that you have to, there's a war going on within yourself.
Hmm.
Most people don't understand that you have to kill yourself daily. We're not talking about physical suicide.
Right,
We're
spiritual,
talking about
mental.
spirit, understanding the poison and the things that are within you that are not conducive to your ascension to higher knowledge. You gotta let go of some of those things.
That's right.
Because we're so attached to our ego and emotions, it's not easy to let it go. You have to have a process of separation, and that is where the war starts. And brother, I
True.
started that war 2 years ago, and
Yo, it's crazy because mine started 2 years ago as well.
bro,
Mine started 2 years ago as well, and God has been breaking me down. And starting this show it's really helped me to break minds down even more because I had to not only go through the process of looking at myself in the mirror, realizing I don't like this guy I see,
mm,
and in order to elevate, I had to kill that guy.
mm,
Sometimes even going through that process, that guy can flash out just in little flashes, just through little things. You know what I'm saying?
oh,
And it happens. And then you have to check yourself.
all
So
the time.
it gets real. You know what I'm saying? It gets deep. It gets emotional. And you have to stay prayed up. You have to, believe in the king and trust him because
That's
the trip that he's taking you on is going to continue to break your ego down and
bro.
tell you, like, look, I made you. You ain't in charge. I'm in charge. You know what I'm saying? And
That
it gets real like that.
that's what, and that's the biggest lesson, bro, that
Yeah,
I have understood. Even like you said, the reason why you have to kill your ego daily is because your ego also has the power to resurrect daily.
absolutely.
So for me, I always tell myself that in certain moments my ego isn't dead, he's just weak. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
if you can at least get your ego to the point of weakness, at least you'll be able to control it. You know what I mean? But if your ego is stronger, than your spiritual man, obviously we know who's going to win that battle, bro.
Yeah, he's gonna win the war every single time. And even learning, God allows, and I want to say this to the people, for those that don't know.
Mm-hmm.
People always say, yeah, it's the devil messing with me. But y'all got to remember one thing. God allows the devil to test you to see what you're going to do and if you're going to keep your faith
Absolutely.
to him.
Absolutely.
He allows it. So you have to be strong-willed and ready for that fight.
Absolutely.
You have to be ready for that fight. And it's really a test of faith. Like I said before, it's really a test of faith. So I think that's pretty dope. That car crash that you went through, I know that's something very traumatizing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure you probably had flashbacks, moments you couldn't sleep, moments you couldn't eat, because that's crazy. A TBI as well. I'm a person with the TBI, so I can, understand.
Mm-hmm.
You know, God was watching over you through all of those instances. You know what I'm saying? And he did all of that to bring it back around to you full circle to look at yourself in that mirror.
Mm.
A lot of the times the ego for real is the me syndrome.
Mm.
And I speak about this a lot, because I'm a person who literally was the me syndrome. Me,
Yep.
me, 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 me. Every day it was me, 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 me.
Yep.
God had to break me down like, but what about this? What about that? What about this? And as you grow older, having kids, you can't have the me syndrome. You just can't.
Come on, brother. Come on.
You just can't have the me syndrome. So I say to a lot of people out here, lock in with the king, you know what I'm saying? Because he can help you understand yourself a whole lot better, especially if you're willing to let him.
Man, let me say one more thing about that real quick before we move on. All of the problems you have in your life are self-created.
Absolutely.
We create our own problems because we have not learned how to properly interact with the experience. God gives us experiences to test, like you said, our faith. How are we going to react to these experiences? Because we don't know that these experiences are tests, we feel like it's okay to go through the motions in a lot of these experiences. Or, this moment, I deserve to clap back. This moment, I deserve to tell them off. This moment, I deserve to hit them. You know what I mean? This moment, I deserve to take this sip of this drink. You know what I mean? Whatever your choice is in the moment, if you feel as though you slipping in the moment is not going to affect the moments of your future, then you're sadly mistaken. You know what I mean? Every moment you have to learn how to master the moment. That's what I tell myself is master the moment, which means whatever urge, whatever desire you have in the moment, if you can beat that moment, then you'll be able to beat every moment.
Absolutely.
So that's some of the principles, man, that I live by when it comes to trying to go past the power and the strength of my ego, being able to kill them, overcome them, and then being led as a spiritual man, bro. It's humbled me to the point of submission. I don't think people understand that, bro. I have submitted to life. You know what I mean? Because I'm not afraid of any pain, any suffering, any challenges. My ego made me afraid of those things. That's why I was afraid. I was afraid of the fear. I was afraid of the pain. But those things are a part of the blueprint. That's a part of the.
It's a part of what shapes you into who you become and who he wants you to become,
So
not who
why,
you think you should become.
so why run from that, bro?
Absolutely.
Exactly, man. It's like why run if that's if we try to let's use it in the sports aspect with LeBron James. Oh, LeBron James been to the finals 10 times. he wouldn't have won any of those 4 if he never been before. He had to lose to learn, to go back, to know how to win.
Right.
But if he stopped after his first 2 losses or what, you're like, man, it's too
He
hard.
wouldn't keep trying.
Why? You can't
Right.
be great if you don't keep trying. That's it, brother.
Right. I agree with you there, man. I definitely agree with you there. So, what's next for Aandre? Let's talk about it.
Well, I'm a junior right now at Morehouse College. I'll be graduating spring of 2026. After graduation, I hope that I get into a good master's program. I've been looking all over the country at different colleges and universities that I can be a part of that would help advance my spirituality and consciousness. Obviously, it'll be great if I can reach a Harvard or a Yale. We gonna pray,
Hey,
but
we're gonna speak it into fruition, man. So a man thinketh, so we think, so we think.
so
So
it's,
you know what's up with that,
so yeah, that's
Grind and believe. That's all.
that's my next mission is to get accepted into a master's program. I'll be studying my master's of divinity, which will now be able to give me more credibility in the spiritual world, in the spiritual aspect of life. Now, me getting a degree in theology and a master's of divinity will allow me to gain credibility when it comes to me teaching people about life, about ministry, about God, and about spirituality. So that's next. Probably that's my 5-year plan for right now. Between now and the next 3 to 5 years, I'll be having that done and completed.
Hey man, that's dope, man. I can't wait to see the doc too. You know what I mean? I can't wait to see it. You know what I'm saying? And you, as soon as it's done and it's out, hit me and let me know. Like, cousin is out. Go watch
Yes,
that. Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. I want to thank you for coming on because it was definitely dope to have you on and to share with the people. I love your vulnerability. I thank you for your vulnerability because it's pretty dope that you came on here and you share it with the world. You know what I'm saying? And people will be inspired, by everything that you said because you did nothing but speak life into people.
Mm.
And speaking life into people is definitely important, and you're good at what you do. I'm just going to say it that way. You know what I'm saying? But for us to talk and have conversations, this is like a normal conversation, just like we was talking before we even got on here. This is like regular, and we don't even talk all the time, but when we talk, it's real like this.
Yeah.
So,
And that's how you know, man. That's how you know it's real. What can you talk about outside of the culture?
absolutely,
Man, we talk about life, and we don't talk about life right now. We talk about what life can become
absolutely.
on another level, brother. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for having me, man.
Hey, man,
I'm gonna
thank
go back
you.
and watch this 10 more times, bro, because it helped me too. Thank you, bro.
Hey, man, listen, we could set it up for you to come on Stirring the Pot. That's
Oh,
another show. We have fun on there. We had fun on Stirring the Pot. It's a little bit more loose.
oh, hey, when we start talking, bro, we know we get chill, bro.
Yeah, that's what I said. It's a little bit more loose over Stirring the Pot. We stir the pot. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I have everybody do when they come on. They stir the pot and
man,
we talk. We just have fun.
I'm
And
that I can get into the controversy of some topics, brother.
oh
We go.
yeah, for sure, because that's what's coming next. A lot of people starting to see different sides of the show now. We just had a presidential candidate. We're gonna have Cornel West come on. He's running for president with her, and that was just one side, a political side of it. I also had a person from NAACP on before. Um, Rappers, singers, all of it. So, I want a little bit of everything for everybody, but I wanted to be on an inspirational week this week to inspire people so that they can see the different shades of Tigmatic as well. This is what the show is about. Showing people inspiration in all forms, not just music, folks. So I understand if some people don't want to tune in because it's not no rap artist or it's not a singer. This episode is not for you. But for those that like to be inspired, those that like to hear about the king, for those that like to get something that's feel good to watch, something to make you think, open your mind, this was the episode for that.
Yeah.
And those other episodes were for that. So, like I said, man, I thank you for coming on, man. It was so dope for you to come on. And you definitely got to come on again, man.
I'm going to come on again. I'm going to make sure I don't have no technical difficulties next time.
It's all good, man. It's the phone. I know how it gets sometimes. You know, it's either sometimes people are calling. It's either people calling like this right here. You know what I'm saying? The in and outs, the Amber Alerts, all of that. It all goes down. You know what I'm saying? So, folks, Aandre Fludd was on. Shout out to Reverend Lewis Fludd. Unc, what up, Unc? Love you. You know what I'm saying? And to the people out here watching, I hope he gets to come back up. There you go. He went out, y'all. But I'm pretty sure he's going to come back in real quick and say his last few things that he needs to say before, the episode goes off. But if he does, that's cool. Yeah, so like I was saying, folks, this is what this week was about. I wanted to inspire you guys. I wanted you to feel good. I wanted you to have something different. And I'll continue to do this as the show goes on. We're on our way to season 3. This is season 2. So as things progress and go on, the show will get better and better, even production-wise. Things is going to look better. I have some announcements to make soon. So as that goes on, Music Dreams USA, you know what I'm saying? What up? You know what I'm saying? This is what we doing. You know what I'm saying? Aandre was a definite pleasure to have on the show. And if you haven't seen the show and now you have, welcome to the show. This is the podcast with Tigmatic. And hey, we're going to keep it moving and booming because that's what we do here. So until next time, folks, peace.